Good evening, everyone. This is the day 12 of MERN series. I'm Naveen Kumar, and today we'll discuss the part two of authorization. By yesterday, we understood that why do we need authorization, and we also saw that any users can update anyone's books at the same time, and they can get the access of deleting as well. But let's see why we understood why do we need the authorization, and today we are going to build the authorization and we'll provide the users details with the books. When we create the books, we'll also see that how we that which user is the authorized person to create that book. And yeah, with that, let's start this video today. And let me share my screen first. So I'll show you the today's agenda. So my server is already started. You can see this. Now let me just go to the readme file. So this is the agenda of today. That is, we understood the problem statement yesterday, and we some of the things that we have already implement in the yesterday's video. That is, we understood the problem. We update our schema as well in the books schema. We provide the user ID and the username to send it as the payload. When we provide the token, when the user logged in, they will send a token, and in the form of token, actually we are sending a payload, and in the payload we are basically sending the user details. When so let me show you that. Yes, you can see that in the form of token, we are sending the existing users details, and once the user logged in, we'll go to the middleware, and we'll see how we once the user gets logged in, we'll send the token, and once we basically wanted to create the books, or when we perform the CRUD, we'll also we also have seen that we are sending after verifying the token with the help of them. When we want to perform the CRUD, it initially it should basically it has to go through the middleware for the verification. And once the token is verified, we'll get it decoded, and decoded is nothing but it basically decode our token. And in the form of token, once the token is verified, we'll get it decoded in the async function. And I'll also uh, we have already seen that this is the decoded, and in this decoded, uh, our token is basically decoded in the form of our payload. And once we get the payload, we need to just attach it with the request body. So once our middleware is successfully verified, that it will basically gives the access to perform the CRUD after that. And let's say that how we can build the authorization. So we'll send the user detail in the form of payload as token. I've already discussed it. And we decode the token in the middleware and attach it with the request body. And we'll also create the books with the user details. So I'll show you step by step. So let's go to the, it is by the way already done. We'll send the user details in the form of token as a payload. Um, it is already done yesterday, and we'll decode the token and in the middleware and attach it with the request body. So I'll go to my book schema first, and I'll check that what I've provided, that is user ID and the user. So I'll basically do what? I'll go to my, uh, if I wanted to create a book, I need to go to the middleware. It will go to the middleware to basically verify the token. And once I get the token, I need to attach it with the user. So I'll say request body dot user ID, and I'll say decoded dot user ID, because this is nothing but we are sending it in the user router. This is something we are sending it in the user router, that is user ID, and this is the user. So so I need to provide this here. So I'll say request body. I also need to provide the username here. So I'll say username, and I'll say decoded dot username. And that's it. We are done with the middleware. and we are successfully able to attach the decoded user details in the with the request bodies. And once we perform the CRUD, we'll also see that now I need to go to the books router, and you'll see that this is my middleware is added. Now I need to add it in the request body, but I don't need to destructure it. It is already added in, attached with the request body. So I don't need to do anything. And I'll also say that if I wanted to update, it is also, there is also a request body. So I don't need to add anything in the request body. And in the delete, let's say, let me just remove this because we don't need to provide anything for delete. We need to provide only the ID. So let's go to the README file. We are successfully attach it with the request body, and let's create the book, a book. So I'll go to the, let's say, I'll make a get request first. So let's see that we are getting the books till this point. We'll create a one more book. So let's go to the router, and today we are going to log in first. So I'll say I'll log in with this user credential Yukta, and let's just go to the copy this token, and I'll go to the I'll go to in the post request of the books router, and in the headers I'll provide the token. I'll just remove this, and I'll provide a new token, and in the body we'll create a new book. So I'll say it should be a, let's say um, let's say the Lion King. It is a book, The Lion King, and it is also science fiction and cartoon. Let's say something, etc. etc. And rating is 5, so I'll say rating is 8, and price is nothing but 800. Now here I don't need to provide the user details. It will automatically provide that. So if I send this as a payload, I mean as a request body, you can see that my book is created successfully, The Lion King, and with the description and rating, the price, and also provide the date here. And you can see that it is also providing me the user ID of that particular user who is successfully able to create it with their ID, and the user's name is also visible here, that the Yukta is a person who created this book, and this is the ID of that book. So we are successfully able to create the authorization here. And let's say if I'm the person, and let's take one more example. If I wanted to log in, if I log in this, and let's see if I'm the person who is logging, and I'll go to the path request. I'll show you something. Till this point, we know that the user details get added when we perform the CRUD. And I'm providing this, and now I am logged in with my user credentials, and I wanted to basically update this book. So let's say if I take this ID, and I'll say that this is not Yukta's book, but I mean, I'll update the price. So I'll basically change the name. I wanted to misuse it. Take a scenario, and I'll basically take this, and I'll say title should be, let's say the lion the lion king. I'll simply make a mistake here, and if I send this, can you see I'm still able to update the book? Can somebody tell? Can do? Are we still able to basically create the authorization? Actually, the authorization. I mean, I'm still able to access our books, but let's read it. So I'll provide the token here. I'll go to this. I'll basically remove this and I'll provide my token. And if I hit this get request, just a second, let me just copy the token. Let me just paste the token. And if I make a get request, let's see that the book is updated or not. You can see that the book is still updated. I'm still able to access the book of Yukta, and 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 I am the user who changed this book. So my username is also added here. Can you see? And my user ID is also added here. So it is also successful. Let's say that 50% we are able to update the we are able to create the authorization, but it is not basically it should not allow me to access her books. That is something I wanted to explain here. I wanted to create something that thing that I'm if I'm the user who created this book, I should not. I always want that if there is a person XYZ, they shouldn't get the access of my books unless and until if I'm the person who allowed them. They shouldn't basically allow to create my books, create basically update my books or delete my books. They shouldn't allow it because they're not authorized. I'm the person who is responsible to create that book, and I am the authorized person. So I should be able to create that book. If let's say take a scenario that if there is a Netflix which is a basically a binge watch app, but if the admin of that basically if the developer or let's say the owner of that Netflix app created an authorization, and if they give the access to the whole world, what will happen? That then anyone can update, anyone can delete the data in the net from the Netflix from their database, and they have a huge database. If you imagine, so they shouldn't. They don't want. Obviously, they don't want to. They don't want the user to. They don't want anyone to delete their get the access of their database. They are the responsible of their database. So this is something when the role-based access comes into the picture for the authorization, actual authorization. So this is the problem statement that we'll see in the next video. Not the next video, but I'll say in the future. But soon we'll cover it. We'll learn how we can allow the user and which user can basically get the access of my books and they can perform the CRUD on my books. Till this point, we are able to basically provide the user ID and the username to the books, and they are successfully able to create their books. They are successfully able to uh, basically if any user wanted to access my books, they can get the access till this point still, but also they will it's like they will left their left their initials, so with their username and the user ID. So till this point, this is something I want to explain is in this video that we are successfully able to create the authorization, and in the next video we'll learn something exciting. So have patience, and if you have any doubts, still you can drop in the comments in the video of LinkedIn post. I'll be grateful to know that, and I'll answer every questions. So thank you everyone, and have a great productive day.